Hey gang, I got an offer for you today from LinkedIn. As business to business marketers, your needs are unique. B2B buying cycles are long and your customers face incredibly complex decisions. Isn't it time you had a marketing platform built specifically for you? LinkedIn ads empower marketers with solutions for you and your customers. LinkedIn ads allow you to build the right relationships, drive results, and reach your customers in a respectful environment. On LinkedIn, you have direct access to build relationships with decision makers. Of the 875 million users on the network, 180 million are senior level executives. 10 million are C-level executives. You will also be able to drive results with targeting and measuring with their tools built specifically for B2B. And best of all, they work. Audiences exposed to brand messages on LinkedIn are 6 times more likely to convert. LinkedIn ads also rank #1 for security, community, and ad experience as part of the Business Insider's Digital Trust Study. Make B2B marketing everything it can be and get a $100 credit. It's a $100 credit on your next campaign. Go to linkedin.com/MPN to claim your credit. It's linkedin.com/MPN. Terms and conditions apply. Entrepreneurs Enigma is a podcast for the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. It's about the wins and the fails that we all face being entrepreneurs, and how we learn from adversity. Every week I talk to a different entrepreneur with a story to tell. I'm Seth Goldstein. Come with me on the journey. This is Entrepreneurs Enigma. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Entrepreneurs Enigma podcast. I'm Seth. I am here with Leslie Greenwood
Hey,
of
Seth.
Chief Evangelist Consulting, the one, the only. I know her from the Pavilion Group, where she was helping out with the community over there. She's now out doing her own bottle washing now on her own. And you are based in Dallas, Fort Worth, right?
That is correct.
Which part? Fort Worth or Dallas? Or does it doesn't matter?
Oh, it's like 3 hours from side to side. I am
Is it really?
right in the center. Oh, yeah, from one side of Dallas suburbs to Fort Worth is seriously 2.5 hours.
It's Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas.
That is true.
It is Texas, exactly. So, Leslie, you are a community evangelist. You're to say the least, you are very big on community. You've
That is true.
helped Sam over at Pavilion for a while, and then you decided, hey, I can do this on my own. I'm going to do this on my own. I'm going to bring my knowledge to the forefront, and you're doing it. So, how's it going so far?
It's great. It's great. I've been officially live with my business for maybe 3 months and a couple days, so
What?
it's very new, very new, and, of course, my founder brain makes me think I should be doing much better than here. But then when I look at what I'm doing, which I think I just got my second client today after 3 months, I think I'm doing okay.
3 months is not bad. It's not bad at all. When I started Goldstein Media, back in 2007, granted, it was like the financial crisis. It took me about a year to get my first client, like to really ramp up. So 2 and 3 months, you're doing pretty good, Leslie.
I'm feeling pretty good. That's actually not true. It's not. I have 2 little clients too, but
All right, but the big ones, that's what matters. So there you go. So prior to this endeavor, you were the community manager over Pavilion. Was that correct?
well, I was the vice president of
Vice
member
president.
success. So
Even
actually I
even
was
better.
the team and we grew the team from 1 to 16. We're in charge of really everything post-enrollment.
Oh wow.
So once you
At the time I met
joined
you, yeah.
yeah, once you joined, we welcomed you. We actually started building Pavilion University with the member success.
Oh, I
We
love
set
it.
up your
Yeah.
mentoring. We did everything. And honestly, at one point, if you didn't pay your bill, Seth, I might have just called you too. So
I definitely
we
paid
did,
my bill. So
well, I was collections too. So we did a little bit of everything. So it was started off as a customer success job, which is what
yes,
my background is. But it turned out
yes.
really more of a community management um, no, half community management, half customer success. And I really decided I love the community part much better
Yeah.
than I love customer success part, although they dovetail in
They dovetail
quite
so
well
so
together.
much together, exactly. I just read Sam's book, and I'm like, "Wow, this went from, like, 0 to 60 in, like, 2 seconds in 2020." Like, it really
Hmm.
picked up. It was just like,
Oh, yeah.
"Whoa." And so what'd you do before Pavilion?
Before Pavilion, I had a couple tech startup jobs. I actually got my startup start in tech accidentally when I was 44 when I applied for a role. And because I didn't actually,
Accidentally.
I actually didn't even apply. Let's put it this way. I was talking to a friend. She was on speakerphone and she had just put her kids in after school care. And I had called to ask her how after school care was because
Yeah.
I was thinking about getting a job. And as she was talking to me, the VP of sales for that tech company was walking by and said, "Oh, you have a friend looking for a job. Can she come in tomorrow?"
Oh, wow. We're going to take a quick break, hear from our sponsors, and get right back to the show.
Hey there, it's Jason with the Marketing Podcast Network. Real quick, I want to make sure you know that the world's leading B2B Marketing Expo is returning to the Los Angeles Convention Center on March 21st and 22nd. It's high time we got back together to learn, see the latest technologies and solutions, and network, right? Join thousands of marketing professionals just like you to learn from over 250 industry expert speakers, educational masterclasses, and over 300 exhibitors. And this year, your ticket also gets you into the Sales Innovation Expo and the Marketing and Advertising Expo. So it's like 3 conferences in one. It's March 21st and 22nd at the Los Angeles Convention Center. Go to b2bmarketingexpo.us to register. That's b2bmarketingexpo.us. The Marketing Podcast Network is a proud partner of the B2B Marketing Expo for 2023. We'll see you in LA.
I walk in whenever my interview was, and the place is dark. It's in kind of a bad area. It's
Oh,
dark, of course, because the developers are in there just developing away.
yeah.
And all the tables have Amazon boxes on them, which is where the computers are up on.
I love it.
And then I'm
Very
waiting to talk.
startup-y.
Very startup-y,
Yeah.
and I'm waiting to talk to the CEO, but he has to finish his stew first before he can talk to me in his jeans because they had a chef.
Ooh,
Also,
fancy.
I went through that interview, and he basically excused everybody out of the room, told me I wasn't a good fit for that role, and then he said, "But I have another role for you." And so that was my first startup job. I was there hired as the pretty much tier 1 support. I answered all the phones.
Oh, wow.
I was getting paid 40 grand. I sat in front of the president's office. One day he came out and said, "I think we're underutilizing you." And
That's
from
good.
there, 6 years later, I was the VP of client services and I took over a sister company's client services division.
Oh,
I
wow.
mean,
So you went from
totally
literally
weird.
from the bottle washer to a VP. Like,
Yeah.
literally the mailroom, down in the basement. The story there. That's awesome.
Well, I actually used to call myself the VP of mail distribution North America because I was the closest one sitting to the door.
Oh,
And
I
so
love
I would
it.
get the mail and distribute it, but I always made myself a fancy title for it.
Oh, I love it. That's the best. So your background is in customer service and customer success and community. Like, you've been doing this for a while, it seems like.
I've been doing that kind of thing for a while. I had my own business when my kids were young, which was actually
Best way to do
the
it.
work from home. I talked on the phone, the fax in my BlackBerry, and I
All
took
classics,
orders.
yeah.
Oh, classics.
Yeah.
So I've kind of had this weird entrepreneurial journey as well. So I've done a lot of things, but what the constant is, I'm always customer facing.
Yes.
In my own business, they could have purchased from anyone, but they did business from me because I made it easy for them and because of the connections that I made.
Yeah.
So I've had a very
And you're also
similar.
nice too, which is people
Oh,
like people that are nice.
I try to be nice. I don't know that everybody would call me nice. I'm direct.
Direct. I think it's more direct. You're a nice kind of direct. I think it's more like this.
I
You
like
don't,
that.
pardon language, you don't bullshit around. You don't. You're
I,
just kind of like,
I
this
don't
is the
have.
way it is. Be all end all. I'm sure kids now appreciate it. Didn't like it when they were kids. I'm sure, like, mom's too direct. But now they're
Yeah,
like, I appreciate that, mom. This cut to the chase, get to the point. This is what needs to be done. I mean, heck, the CEO, the president, they decided they were underutilizing you and they moved you up. I mean, that's awesome. Clearly, they saw a spark there.
yeah, I like what you're saying. Yeah, I have no time for bullshit.
Exactly. Because bullshit just takes forever. It's just like, get to the point, tell me what I need to know, and I'll get to it. That kind of thing. It's just the way it
100%.
works. So, what
100%.
is the best thing about being an entrepreneur now that you're back out into the entrepreneurial world?
I think it's deciding who I want to do business with.
Love
You know,
that.
I can, I, there are certain kinds of people that I know I will do the best business for and with.
Hmm.
I can be very open about the type of business style that I do. Uh, Our first engagement is rather short. And if they decide that that's not, I'm not their cup of tea or they're not my cup of tea, we don't have to move forward. And so I think having that kind of control over where I'm going to spend my time. Also, this stage of my life, I've spent a lot of time thinking about how I'm going to work my work into my life. instead of
Love
my
it.
life into my work, which I spent,
Mhm.
probably too many years doing. And I block off Fridays and,
Love it.
things like that. So it's really a little bit more control over how I spend my time, and then keeping myself in check, because I'm very likely to overdo it and go 120%. And so I'm
Me
trying to
too.
keep myself in track at about 99.
Oh, that's all. Just 99%.
Yeah.
Take 1% off to kind of relax a little bit more, which is a good idea. So what keeps you up at night?
Contracts,
Oh, it's the worst. I hate
getting people
contracts.
to sign their contracts and move forward. And then also, I'm sure you had this. It's one day like today, I just, right before this, I got the email saying, okay, we're moving forward. Yay. Tomorrow, then it'll be like, oh my God, what am I going to do with all these business? I'm going to have to hire somebody. I think I probably won't be able to handle it. And then I'll get myself all worked into another
Mhm.
mental state. And then in 3 days, you're going to find me curled up in a ball in a fetal position, think I'm going to business. It's just like you're either on the highs or the lows. That's the challenge.
And it's just trying to keep yourself centered as much as possible.
Yeah.
But it's fun though. It's fun being able to call the shots and just answer to yourself, which is a good thing. For you not have to answer to somebody else, you're the boss. The buck stops with you. To be very cliche about it. What is the most important thing to carry with you all of the time?
My personal values.
Love it.
So I'm going to carry my personal values. What I've found is if I'm bought into the values and the mission, the vision of the company, you have me. I will treat your company like my own, and I will, you know, talk you through the rooftops. Once I lose connection with the values, if I don't connect with your values, it's very hard for me to give my full value into something. And like we said earlier, I'm a little direct, so I'm pretty open about what I find important in values that I find and how those are gonna manifest itself in my life.
That really gets down to the root of who you are. And, the values are very important. And if you don't align with the values and you're just going there to work, stamp in, stamp out, and then go home, and it's like, no, you wouldn't believe it. I mean, you're spending most of your time working in life until you retire. Might as well enjoy yourself.
Yeah. I don't think everybody needs that. Obviously,
Yeah.
there's so many jobs out there that people do every day that, are just neutral
Yeah.
to their values. But I think for me, that's just something. And I think that's one reason why I think entrepreneurship is going to suit me well, is
Yeah.
because I control the values in how I work and how, if I hire somebody, how we as a team will work.
I think that's great. And I think anyone who you hire is going to be very lucky because they're not going to have to guess what Leslie's thinking. She's just going to tell you. No, but it's half the battle is like, what does she think or what does he think or what do they think? But and knowing what your boss thinks, knowing what your coworkers think is so underrated. It's better to know, even if it's negative a little bit, better to know that you're rubbing them wrong a little bit and why you're rubbing them wrong a little bit than guessing and then getting in your head and then going manic up and down. So
Mhm.
I love
Oh
it.
yeah. But yeah, you should have a secondary podcast with all my previous employees on it. I'm sure they'll tell you all of it.
All the
It also
dirt.
does all the dirt. It also goes both ways though, because that was the other thing I would always tell, the people I work with is I want your feedback. And this is not just the fake, I want your feedback. I want your feedback.
Yeah.
Because with my personality style, I, will forget pleasantries. I will be focused on what I'm focused on.
Or you might get right to the point and people are like, wait, can you say hi first, please?
Yeah, true. 100%. 100%.
Happens to me. Sometimes
100%.
I start mid-sentence. The first part is in my brain, like all the pleasantries are in my brain. But the only thing that comes out my mouth is like, let's go do X, Y, and Z. I'm like, I did say hello, you just didn't hear it.
It's true. 100%. It was assumed.
It was assumed that I said hello, but let's get to the point. It's so funny. So people can find you over at thechiefevangelist.com. And where's your big watering hole online? Like where do you like to hang out the most?
Oh, if you LinkedIn, you can find me in LinkedIn. I'm in quite a few communities. So if you're in
Yes,
Pavilion, you can find me in Pavilion. I'm just always a digital button away, and
exactly.
always love to chat. And
Yes, you're very accessible, which is what I love. Leslie, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for being on the program.
you're most welcome, Seth. I'm so excited when you asked me to be on here. Or maybe I asked you. I can't remember how it worked, but either way, it worked out.
Either way, it worked out nicely. And we'll see everyone next week. That was a great show. Hey, if you're enjoying Entrepreneurs Enigma, please give us a review on the podcast directory of your choice. We're on all of them. And these reviews really help others find the show. Also, if you're getting value from the show and want to buy me a coffee, go to the show notes and click on the link to help me stay awake while I bring you more great episodes to your ears. That's in the show notes, and I look forward to the next episode. Take care, guys. Goldstein Media hopes you have enjoyed this episode. This podcast is one of the many great shows on the MPN Marketing Podcast Network.
You probably know you're listening to this show along the Marketing Podcast Network, but did you know there are other great shows on MPN to help your business? I'm Jason Falls, and I host Winfluence, the Influence Marketing Podcast. Now, you'll note I didn't say influencer marketing. I said influence marketing. Why? Because the goal is to truly influence an audience to take action. We talk about the strategies and stories that move beyond engaging just social media influencers and tap into your community to find influential voices. It's a different way of looking at it. We call it community commerce marketing. Influencers are still a piece of it, but there's so much more. I talk to creators, brand and agency side marketers, and the thinkers in the space to help grow your business. Come learn with me on Winfluence, the Influence Marketing Podcast. Find it at winfluencepod.com, marketingpodcasts.net, or search for Winfluence wherever you get your podcasts. This podcast is heard along the Marketing Podcast Network. For more great marketing podcasts, visit marketingpodcasts.net.